Hi, good morning. Let's play with spinal mobility this morning. So let's be on all fours and play with the cat-cows. So let's make your way down on your hands and knees. And let's start the exercise with our toes flexed. So here, keep your knees in line with your hips. Keep your heels in line with your sit bones. Your arms are going to be straight, fingers are open. Press your fingers, your palms into the floor and keep your arms straight and push the floor away. So it's somewhat of an active movement. I like to watch my elbows when I'm doing this exercise, but you can also just look straight ahead in front of you. So the first exercise we are going to do is that we are rotating our arms, especially the upper arm bone, forward and back. So let's play, this is called the cubital fossa or elbow crease. And the first exercise is that we are going to, your elbow creases first pointing towards each other, and now pushing the floor away. Everything is in space hold, but you're turning your elbow creases or cubital fossa forward. And with this, I feel a lot of stretch in my forearms and also upper here by my triceps. And now, next, you're going to turn your elbow creases towards each other, but keeping the arms active, pushing your hands into the floor. And now rotating your elbow creases backwards as much as you can. You may feel that one side is a lot tighter than the other. So by hopefully practicing this exercise, that will not be the case in a couple of weeks. So this should help with fascial tightness. Bring your elbow creases pointing forward and then towards each other. Keep your arms straight, push the floor away, and now elbow creases rotate backwards towards your feet. Back towards each other. And then lastly, point your elbow creases forward. And then keep your elbow creases pointing forward. And now let's add the pelvic tilt to as a second exercise. So let's play with the sit bones gliding upwards to the ceiling, and that brings us into a lumbar extension, or if we were lying on our backs, that would be a mouse house, right? And with this, I feel a lot of stretch in my butt. As I keep pointing my sit bones to the ceiling, the higher I bring them up, the more stretch I feel in my low back and also in the butt. Now the next part is you to keep everything in space hold. Let's just bring the sit bones down towards your knees. And you can see with this, my pelvis is curling. If I were on my back, this would bring me into an imprinted spine, into a posterior tilt, and into a lumbar flexion. Your upper body still keep pushing the floor away with this. And now let's glide the sit bones upwards. Keep your heels in line with your sit bones as well. Glide your sit bones up, back to the ceiling. Elbow creases still pointing forward. And with this, I feel a deep stretch in my butt. There are a lot of ligaments that hold the pelvis together. A lot of ligaments by the sacrum. And there's a wide ligament between the sacrum and the sit bone. It's called the sacrotuberus ligament. So with this exercise, we are actually stretching that ligament as well. And you curl your Sit bones down, back towards your knees again. And then let's do last one. One more. Sit bone glides toward the ceiling. And the higher they come, the more stretch I feel in my low back, but also in my butt. Keep your elbow creases pointing forward. Don't collapse in your upper body. That's also pretty hard. Keep the arms straight, keep your fingers open and press them into the mat. And then lastly, curl your sit bones back down. And then let's add the upper body too. So keep your sit bones down this time, and then lift your sternum, your breastbone, towards the ceiling and drop your head forward. Coming into, I never know which one is the cat-cow. I think this is the cat. But so coming into a lumbar flexion, thoracic flexion, and dropping your head towards the floor. And from here, keep your sit bones curled under, push the floor away, and start lifting your head. Coming into a cervical extension, into a thoracic extension, and into a lumbar extension, and rising your sit bones back to the ceiling. Keep looking straight ahead. Drop your breastbone as low as you can. Keep your arms straight, keep pushing the floor away. And then let's start with the pelvis. Curl the pelvis under. Sit bones are gliding to the knees, coming into a lumbar flexion, coming into a thoracic flexion, and dropping the head down. Arms are still active. Push the floor away. Drop your head completely. Keep your sit bones towards your knees, and then start lifting the head. Coming into cervical extension, thoracic extension. Drop your breastbone, your sternum towards the mat, and coming into a lumbar extension, rising your sit bones to the ceiling. Arms are still active. That's pretty hard. And then let's keep this shape, this extension, and then let's shift forward and back. So sit bones are towards the ceiling. Keep the lumbar extension, keep the thoracic extension, cervical extension, and shift your body weight back. Keep your pelvis in space hold. Don't let it curve under. And now shift forward. I think this is pretty hard. Shift forward as much as you can. Keep this, would you say upward C or inverted C or whatever. Keep this extension and shift forward and back. Once more. Keep the sit bones to the ceiling. Keep your breastbone towards the mat. And then keep looking straight ahead. Let's shift forward. And then let's curve the pelvis down. Sit bones glide towards the knee. Coming into a lumbar flexion, thoracic flexion, and drop the head forward completely. Keep pushing the floor away. Keep your heels in line with the sit bones. And then keeping this flexion, this C shape, this downward C, and shift forward a couple times. And then back. So sit bones are not moving. I'm keeping them towards my knee, so my hamstrings are in a shortened position. Shift forward, and then back. Keep pushing the floor away so the arms are still active. And then let's shift forward once more. Let's come into a neutral. And now let's go into a child's pose to rest the arm a little bit, and then let's repeat this with the toes pointed. So child's pose, either wide knee or narrow knee. Just lean forward, bring your forehead on the mat, and then let's do 5 deep breaths into the belly. So deep breath in, and then long exhale out. And 2, deep breath in, and long exhale out. Deep breath in, 3, and long exhale. And 4, deep breath in, long exhale. And last one, 5, deep breath in, and long exhale. Let's go back on all fours. Let's keep the toes in plantar flexion, ankle in plantar flexion. This time press your shin into the mat, so the exercise will feel a little bit different. Also keep paying attention that your heel is in line with your sit bones, and bring your hands under your armpit, push the floor away. Fingers are wide and open, arms are straight, and let's play with the pelvis first. Point your elbow creases forward and sit bones in neutral, so let's bring them up to the ceiling. Open your sit bones wide, feel the stretch in the low back and the butt, and then curl your sit bones down towards your knees. This is bringing you into a lumbar flexion or cat. I think cat. So sit bones towards the knee. This is a hamstrings are shortened, and sit bones gliding back to the ceiling. Hamstrings are lengthening. This is bringing me into a lumbar extension. Feel the stretch in the butt and low back. Keep your arms pushed into the mat. Elbow creases pointing forward. And then once more, curl your sit bones down towards the knees. Hamstrings are shortening and coming into a lumbar flexion or posterior tilt or imprinted spine if we were lying on the mat face up. Sit bones gliding back to the ceiling, coming into lumbar extension. Also, let's drop the sternum, the breastbone down this time, but keep the arms straight, keep pushing the floor away, and then lift the head. Look straight ahead. Arms are pushing, fingers are open. Sit bones are wide, a lot of stretch in the low back, a lot of stretch in by the sacrum and by the sit bones. Looking straight ahead, and start dropping the head down. Pushing the floor away, coming into thoracic flexion, into a lumbar flexion. Sit bones are gliding to the knees. Hold this. Hamstrings are shortened here. Let's shift forward and back a couple times. Let's see if you can sit on your knees, on your heels. Sorry. Keep your sit bones curled under. Keep your sit bones closer to the knees, and then keep the hamstring short. Keep pressing your feet into the mat. Keep pressing your shins into the mat. Hamstrings are shortened. My foot is cramping. And then shift forward. Shift forward as much as you can. And then let's go back into neutral. Lift your sit bones up to the ceiling a little bit. And then let's do one more just like that. Sit bones gliding to the ceiling. Ankles are pressed, shins are pressed, arms are straight. Elbow creases pointing forward. Drop your breastbone to the mat. Lift your head. I'm 2.5 weeks in and I'm still so sick. So sorry about the sniffles. Look straight ahead. Sit bones are wide open, arms are straight, pressed into the mat. And then curl the sit bones under, look straight ahead. Coming into a lumbar flexion, coming into a thoracic flexion, and lastly, drop the head down. Push the floor away. Arms are straight. Keep the sit bones towards the knees, and then let's shift forward. Keep this shape, keep the sit bones curled under, and then let's shift. Bring your body weight back. Sit bones are still curled under. You're in lumbar flexion. Sit back if you can, and then come back into neutral. Arms are still straight. Keep pushing the floor away. And then let's go back into child's pose. So if you had a wide knee child's pose, let's do a closed knee one. And if you had a closed knee one, let's do a wide knee one. Let's sit on your heels and let's do 5 deep breaths into the belly. So deep breath in and long exhale out. Deep breath in, long exhale out. And 3, deep breath in, long exhale out. And 4, deep breath in, long exhale out. And last one, 5, deep breath in and long exhale. Let's make your way into seated. I feel a lot of stretches in my butt with this one. And it was interesting to see how the pelvic tilt and spinal articulation feels different face up versus now on all fours. So I think it's good to play with the same movement in different planes and see how differently they feel. So I hope this was good, and I'll see you back here soon at another time. Have a good day. Thank you.